Ask anyone to picture the yeti, and they will summon the exact same image: a massive, bipedal ape hiding out in a frozen wasteland, leaving a single, oversized footprint in the snow. That image was largely cemented in the mid-20th century, when Western explorers pushed into the highest peaks on Earth. They came looking for glory, and they brought back sensationalized stories of a singular, solitary monster. But those expeditions collided with a language barrier. The indigenous inhabitants had a highly nuanced vocabulary for their local ecosystem. Foreign interpreters compressed these regional and spiritual variations into one crude translation, the hybrid Kang Admi, meaning snowman. To find the truth, we must look past the cameras and footprint casts. The answers are found in the specific indigenous words describing the high Himalayas. We have spent a century looking for a biological animal we failed to find. But the people who actually live there have been describing a complex system we failed to understand. Let's start with the literal roots. The word yeti derives from the Tibetan compound gya drak, meaning there of the rocky places. Within that category is a physical variant called the dzute. The term dzute translates directly to cattle-killing bear. It is the local classification for a massive apex carnivore known to hunt livestock in the high-altitude pastures. Modern biologists recognize this creature as the Himalayan ground bear, or Ursus arctos isabellinus. Sherpa herders in the Solukhumbu region treat the dzute as a practical danger. It is a clear physical threat to their livestock, an animal to be either shot on sight or avoided entirely. When a local guide warned an English mountaineer about a beast capable of killing a yak, they were offering a practical wildlife warning. The explorers recorded it as a supernatural monster sighting. But biology only explains half the native vocabulary. To understand the rest, we have to look at the mete, or man-bear. This term describes a much rarer entity, possessing a pungent, musky odor and operating on the fringes of the spiritual world. Long before Buddhism reached Tibet, the dominant religion was Bon, a shamanic practice that viewed the mountains as a living canvas. In early Bon texts, the yeti was the Florist, a spirit of the untamed wild, whose blood was used in mystical rituals. In the 7th century, Guru Padmasambhava introduced Vajrayana Buddhism to the high region. He did not eradicate these older spirits. Instead, they were quickly converted into Dharmapalas, fierce protectors of the Buddhist faith. The yeti's role evolved into a gatekeeper for the Bayul, or sacred hidden valleys. Those who approached with a pure heart passed unharmed, while those seeking wealth or conquest were driven mad or buried under avalanches. Over centuries, the creature transformed from a target of shamanic blood rituals into a moral enforcer for a new religion. Why did communities living alongside these peaks need a mythological enforcer? What practical purpose did the mete serve? The high Himalayan glaciers are a deadly reality. Anyone wandering into this zone faces hidden crevasses, sudden avalanches, and extreme temperatures that can cause fatal frostbite in minutes. The legend of a wrathful gatekeeper served as a psychological boundary marker. It functioned as an invisible fence, warning villagers not to wander too high into the hazard zone. This system creates a psychological barrier that requires no physical fencing. It weaponizes fear to regulate where people go, lowering the mortality rate in a place where one wrong step is fatal. You do not need hair samples, DNA analysis, or blurry viral videos to validate the existence of the yeti. It exists exactly as it was intended to. The yeti is a piece of cultural technology that has protected the Himalayan people for centuries.